All right then. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You guys know how it goes. This video is going to be a little bit longer than before, so grab some popcorn, get your notebook, grab a pencil, and just relax for the next 30 to 40 minutes. This is a pretty good topic. I don't know, it could be shorter. It could be depending on how I go, knowing your current skill sets and everything. And, well, let's continue. So, we're going to be analyzing page 47. Right? Page 47, lesson 4A. Now, lesson 4A, we have this that we're going to be studying comparatives and superlative adjectives. Now, comparatives and superlative adjectives are actually, my bad, are actually pretty important. But they can be a little bit confusing. So, I want you to be careful in the way we are going to use them. First, comparatives and superlatives. And you guys can see, use the comparative forms to compare two things. Okay? Learning from a person is more interesting than learning from a book. Talking to someone is easier than reading. Use the superlatives form to compare three or more things. Doing projects is the best way to learn. Here's the thing I want to say. Yes, superlatives can technically superlatives is used to compare three or more things, but I mean comparatives can also be used. For example, comparatives you can say, "Oh, that group or that class is smarter than the other class." Right? Oh, you see those two over there? Yeah, they are smarter than us. So yeah, you can compare about a few things. What superlative is talking about is that you're declaring something, okay? You're declaring something because you're comparing it in a general sense. And I'll explain about it a little bit more once I get there. But first, let's compare let's compare notes. My bad. I had a little malfunction in my brain right there. But let's compare first comparatives. And let's see how it's used. Okay? So comparatives, it's not actually hard. Okay? It's not actually hard. The problem with these is that it can be confusing. So it's important that you guys be careful with it. So let's begin. All right. Let us begin. Let's put here comparatives. Let's start off with comparatives. Comparatives isn't hard at all. Let's say we have two people, right? We have two people. We have here, we're going to call him Eric. We have here, we'll call him David. All right. Wait. I messed up a little bit with David. All right. As you guys can see, we're going to use the adjective tall. Now, tall, all right, is used to describe people that are well tall, right? And in this occasion, David is very tall, actually. So let's compare David and Eric. All right, David and Eric. The sentence is going to be pretty simple. David is taller than Eric. And that's that. Okay? David is taller than Eric. Pretty simple, right? What did we add to the verb? To the adjective. Can you guys see what we added? We added an ER. All right? When we're using comparatives, we use ER. We usually add it to some verbs. Not all of them. We'll get to that in a second, but that's what we do. Okay? David is taller than Eric. I want you to keep in mind then is optional sometimes. You don't always have to use then, but you do have to use it if you're going to compare. Let me say what I mean. For example, here we're saying David is taller than Eric, right? We have to use then there because then we don't know who we're comparing. You can't just go. Imagine if someone comes running up to you and say, "Hey, David is taller." Would you understand? No. You're gonna say, "What? What do you mean? Taller than who? David is taller. Why do I care?" See, you have to add context, and in this occasion, then Eric is the context. But what if your friend comes and tells you, "Hey, David is taller than Eric"? And then that's when you can say, oh, there's this guy called John. You can say, you can respond, really? I think John is taller. I think John is taller, you know? And that point in time, that's when everything gets a little bit more different. Because there, I'm sorry, my bad. David is taller than Eric, John is taller. The reason why we don't have to use then is because we know who we're comparing. All right, think about like a conversation. The conversation is David is taller than Eric. Okay? If you say, you know what, I don't think so. You can say, well, yeah, I mean, David is taller than Eric, but I think John is taller than both of them. You see? You don't have to say then both of them. You can just say, yeah, but you know what? I think John is taller. And that's it. You could just leave it like that. You don't really have to add more to it unless you want to be more specific. Okay? But you could just leave it with then and be done with it. Right? You can just add then. Here, I mean, you can add then if you want to be a little bit more specific. For example, John is taller than David. Okay? It's fine, but you don't have to. You can just leave John is taller, and we already know who you're comparing it to. Okay? So that is comparatives. Now, of course, it can be a little bit different if the word is long. Because as you guys can see, tall. How many syllables does tall have? One, right? It's just tall. That's it. Tall. What about if the word is long? For example, beautiful. All right? What about if the word is long like beautiful? What are we going to do there? Well, where the word is long, you have to be a little bit more careful. Okay? When the word is long. Let's put an example. Let's put two people. Okay? All right? Let's do a quick drawing of both of them. All right? Of course, this is more personal opinion, but whatever. That is horrible hair. All right? She needs to go to a hairstylist. All right, so let's say here the names will be Lisa and Sarah. I don't know why I put Saha, but no, we're not doing that. We're going to go with just Sarah. So we could put something like, for example, Sarah is more beautiful. All right, more beautiful than Lisa. Okay? And do you see what we did here? We added more. And that's how we compare if the word is long. Because we can't say beautifuler. Think about it. Does it sound right? Right? If I take this off and I say, oh yeah, Sarah is beautifuler than Lisa. No, it doesn't, right? It sounds clumsy. It sounds wrong. So you can't say beautiful. It's even struggling with my tongue. It doesn't go with the tongue. All right? Sarah is more beautiful than Lisa. You see how it even sounds better? So that's why you're going to use more when the word is long. Okay? And always remember, you're comparing two things. Right? It could be people, it could be animals, it could be anything. You can even compare a pen. For example, for me, I can say, let's see, Copic markers are better than Pro markers. And I'm comparing. You can compare anything. Your dog, your cats. You can compare your house to your friend's house. You can compare your car to your friend's car, right? You can compare anything you want, but just be careful, right? Because you just be careful at what you have to add, because you have two options, ER or more, okay? And let me give you a quick table that you can use to see how you can add them. All right, let's see. Let's clear all of this, and let's add a table. Let's make the table this long. All right, and let's separate it into 3 parts. This table is going to be like a little example of how you can write it. Okay, if the word is short, oops. If the word is short, in other words, only 1 syllable, this is what you're going to do. For example, tall, you're going to add ER. And you will get, oh, my bad, got a little distracted. And you're going to get taller. But what about if the word is a little, my bad. But the word could change a little bit different. Be careful, because you could get this type of word. It's 1 syllable, right? But notice here, it's consonant, vowel, and consonant. What does that mean? Well, you're going to duplicate the last word, the last letter, all right? You're going to do something like this. Plus D plus ER, and get something like this. Sadder. Now keep in mind, right now it's a D because sad has a D. You're going to do that, but you're going to change the letter depending on what the word is. Let's say, for example, big. It's short, right? Big, 1 syllable. It's also CVC, right? But you're not going to put a D. You're going to duplicate the G and put like that. See? That's what you're going to do. Let's continue on to the next one. Okay? Now, in the next one, this is what you're going to do. All right? This is what you're going to do. You're going to put, let's see, if it's 2 syllables, right? If it's 2 syllables, it changes a little bit. Okay? Let's put the word easy. You know what easy is. Okay? If it's only 2 syllables and it ends with a Y, you're going to take out the Y and add I, and then add ER, and get something like this. Right? But if the word does not end with an Y, my bad, you're just going to add more. Okay? So you'll get something like this. More boring. So keep that in mind. Okay? Easier, boring. And the last but not least, if the word is long, in other words, 3 syllables or more, you're just going to add more and put something like this. More beautiful. And there you go. That is how you're going to describe it. And that is how you can compare in the end. Okay? Now I want to show you something else. Be careful, because there are irregular words. All right? And these words change completely. For example, good and bad. Good, you're not going to put, oh yeah, gooder. Like, for example, oh yeah, don't worry, he's gooder at basketball than David. No, 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 no. You're going to put better. Bad, you're going to put worse. Okay? Worse. And that's it. That's all you have to do. And that is for comparatives, okay? It's not that hard, but it can confuse some people, so I want you to be careful, okay? But that is how it can be. Now, let's see. This is comparatives. And always remember, comparatives is to compare 2 or more things. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit something. You know what? No, I'll tell you guys in the next video so you guys don't get confused too much. Because this is not hard. You guys are probably saying, oh, it's not hard. I can do this. Yes, but you can get confused with superlatives, which is why we're going to see that in a minute. Okay? But again, just this simple sentence. Let's use it as a little bit more preference, right? Let's say you want to talk about genres. You guys can say, for example, rap is better than hip hop, even though they're kind of the same, if I'm honest. But you could put like something like that, or you know what? Let's just change it. Rap is better than pop. Done. Okay? And that's a simple sentence. You guys can also add, for example, you can say, oh, you know what? I like rap, and I do feel rap is better than hip hop in many ways, or rap is better than pop in many ways. Notice how it's done in a sentence or in a normal conversation. It sounds natural. It looks easy, but practice it. And the more you practice it, the more you'll be able to make it sound natural. Okay? So make sure you are able to. I don't know why I'm opening up my mouth so much. I guess I'm happy that I don't have the mask. All right? But just keep that in mind. Now let's talk about superlatives. Oh boy, superlatives. They can be a little bit tricky. And tricky not in a way that they're difficult to learn. It can be confusing with this. Okay? Let me show you why. Let's erase this. And let's go with superlatives. Let me show you why the book says comparing to two or more things. All right? Let's go back to the word tall. I wrote superlatives very wrong. Very wrong. I'm sorry, superlatives. I guess I'm so excited. All right? Let's use the word tall again. Here we have John. Now, here are John's friends. All right? Don't ask about him. We never talk about him. All right? But here are John's friends. As you guys can see, John is tall, right? But his friends are not as tall as John. So, if we want to say that John is, superior in a sense, we can say John is. Oh, wait, my bad. I messed up there. John is the tallest. And you're done. That's simple. John is the tallest. So that's what I meant by the book when I said compare two or more things. Here are the things is we're comparing John to the rest of his friends. What just happened right there? That's weird. Huh. I don't know what just happened. But we're comparing John to all of his friends. That's all we're doing. Okay? So that's why, in other words, we can say something like this. John, what we're really saying is this. That's what I was trying to say. What we're really saying is this. John is the tallest of his friends. Okay? Heck, what if John is in your class? You can say John is the tallest in the class. Okay? And just like that, you're saying. So that's what I meant. Because when you're comparing to two or more people. Because here, technically, you're comparing John to his group of friends. Or if you're there, you're comparing John to the entire class. But the reason I don't really like saying comparing is because it's more like you're declaring. You see? Notice here, John is the tallest. It doesn't sound a lot like comparing, does it? No, it sounds like you're just stating something like, yeah, John is the tallest. Or if you have a friend, you know what? Eric is the strongest person I know. All right? I'm not worried. You're declaring that he's the strongest. Maybe not in the world, but in the people in your vicinity. Okay? That is what you're trying to say. And that is what superlatives is used for. It's used to declare something, that someone is superior in one way or another to everyone else. Okay? It could be to a group of friends, to your classmates, all right, to the people that you know, but that's what you're saying. Okay? Let's put another example. Now, we put an example of what's it like if the word is tall. Why not go back to the word, let's see, beautiful. Let's say that you are in love. Oh, the spring of youth, right? You're in love. You have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend, you have a crush. And you're going to compliment them. Now, if you're going to compliment them, it's going to be a little bit, how can I say it? Different. Okay? You're going to be a little bit different. If you're going to compliment them, you can do something like this. For example, let's see. You can say, let's go back to Sarah. Sarah is, and if in the last one we couldn't use S because, well, S is only used for short. You know, comparatives, it was ER, right? Now it's est. Beautiful is going to be the same thing. You're going to put Sarah is the most beautiful. Sarah is the most beautiful. Okay? And with that, you're declaring something. It could be either because you're blind from love. Yes, it happens. Or it's because it's like out of everyone you know, she is the most beautiful. And it's always like for your parents as well, right? Like, for example, I have the most beautiful son or most beautiful daughter, right? That's fine. But here you're declaring something. But notice here, you're using most. And do you see what I'm also using in both of these? I'm using the. And that is something very important because lots of people tend to forget that the is used a lot, okay? You cannot forget it. The is something extremely important when it comes to superlatives. It cannot be ignored and it cannot be, left out. It always has to be used. I'm sorry. I was just playing around. The thing about the, people, is that it's extremely important. And one of the common mistakes is that people forget to use it. Don't forget to use it. Remember, when it comes to superlatives, always use the. Okay? Always use the. Oh. There we go. Always use the. Don't ignore it. You have to use it. Okay? So, that's how it is for superlatives. Notice it's a little bit simple, right? And like I said, you can end the sentence right here, or you can say, for example, Sarah is the most beautiful girl I know. Or the most beautiful girl in the class, right? Or if you want to be exaggerated and just say, oh, Sarah's the most beautiful girl in the world. Then other than getting your eyes checked, that is correct. I'm just playing. But you catch my drift. You understand what I'm trying to say, right? So, remember, if you have any questions, make sure you ask me through WhatsApp or any doubts. Okay, so now let's see the table when it comes to this one. It is the same table, if I'm honest, as comparatives. But it's still extremely important because you guys need to remember how it's used, okay? Let's see. Again, if it's only one syllable, if the word is short, for example, tall, if the word is normal, you're just going to add est. Tall, est. If the word, right, is CVC, then you're going to add or duplicate the last one and add EST and get something like sad est. Now, what if it's two syllables long? Again, they're the same rules. For example, easy, all right? Easy, because it ends with a Y, you're going to take off the Y and add I-E-R, right? and get something like this. Easy est. And the same thing, if the word is 2 syllables, but it doesn't end with a Y, you just add most, right? Most boring. And if the word is 3 syllables or more, okay? If the word is 3 syllables or more, for example, beautiful, then you're just gonna add most. Most beautiful. And that's it. That is how you do it for superlatives. You see, it's the same thing. And it's the same thing with also good and bad. Good is changed to best, and bad is changed to worst. Okay? And remember, always remember, you have to use the. All right? Don't forget to use it. It's extremely important. And I'm not joking. I'm not even trying to be funny in this occasion. It's because it worries me. It really does. Lots of students tend to forget about the, and it's extremely important when using superlatives. You cannot have superlatives without the. You have to use it. All right? It's by force. Okay? And it's pretty simple, as you can see right there. That is superlatives. Okay? And with superlatives, you can show your opinions a little bit more. Matter of fact, superlatives are great for opinions. For example, you don't like a movie. You can say, you know what? Avengers Infinity War is the worst movie out there. I'm just playing, but you know what I mean. Okay? Or for example, Star Wars is the worst series. I love Star Wars personally, but it's the worst movie franchise. It's your opinion, but you notice, is the worst. That's superlatives. Or you want to say something else, like, for example, Scott Pilgrim versus the World is the funniest movie out there. Now, that is true. That is my favorite movie. Okay? But you see how it is? You can even say the same things to people. For example, you are the most important person in my life. See? You are the most important. Okay? And that's how you can say it. And that's superlatives. I recommend that from here on out, when I'm giving classes, I recommend you listen to me talk when you hear me talk, or when you're listening to sitcoms, movies, series, or music. Try to listen when they add the est and the er, and try to pay attention to how it's used. Okay? Now, just to finish off, let's check out here in the book. Okay? Let's go to perspectives again. All right, no, not that. Let's go to 11. Now, let's see. Here we have to decide if it's going to be comparatives or superlatives. Okay? I'm going to just show you how to use context and how to realize which one is which. Let's see and so you guys can actually just reaffirm the differences. First sentence, studying for a short time every day is blank than studying all night the night before. The word here is useful. What do you guys think? Is it comparatives or superlatives? If you guys don't know, then I'll explain. If you do know, good. But notice here, we're studying for a short time, studying all night. We're comparing two activities, right? Studying for a short time and studying all night. As you can see here, we're using then, and then is for comparing. So that means it's comparatives. Now, the word is useful, okay? How are we going to put it? Are we going to put my bad. My tongue doesn't want to say it. But are we going to say usefuler? No, right? I even make a funny face when I say it. Are we going to say usefuler? No, we're not. We're not going to say that. You're going to, it's 2 syllables, right? Useful. So you're going to use more useful. And notice how better it sounds. Studying for a short time every day is more useful than studying all night the night before a test. Let's go to the next one. Important. Breakfast is the blank meal. That's it. Done. Are we comparing? Not really, right? There are not two things there. It looks like we're declaring something, right? So it would be most important. We're using superlatives because we're declaring that breakfast is the most important. And again, notice we're using most. We cannot use importantest. My tongue doesn't even want to say it. That's my goal for you guys. I want your guys' tongue to get like that, to not want to say things that sound weird. But you guys can see right there. Breakfast is the most important. Let's go to the next one. A light lunch is blank than a big one. You guys can see it right there, right? So it's going to be comparatives. Good is irregular. So it's going to be better. And studying is important. But blank, the best way to learn. Here we're just declaring. We're not really saying anything. And that's it. That's comparatives, okay? Now here's the thing. I want to change something up. I was going to ask you guys for some practice, some homework. But honestly, this is what I'm going to ask you guys to do. All right, let's erase this. As you guys can see, that was comparatives and superlatives, okay? I'm going to change the I want you to change the activity because your classmate may have something because I already recorded the other video. But I just want you guys to look at movies and, well, some of you guys may not care about actors, but let's just talk about movies and songs. I want you guys to use comparatives. I am sorry for the sloppy writing. And superlatives. Okay. I want you to give me two examples, two movie examples, two song examples. Two movie examples and two song examples. And that's it. Okay. In total, you're going to turn in 8. Okay. You're going to turn in 8. Try and be a little bit more context. For example, for movies, you could say, okay, Transformers is way better, or Transformers is more entertaining than Star Wars, for example. Try to also use different adjectives, okay? And superlatives. So Transformers is the best movie of our generation, or it's the best movie of 2010. Whatever like that, okay? But just keep that in mind. And make sure you guys can do it, all right? If you guys have any questions or anything like that, make sure to contact me through WhatsApp. I'm not trying to make it too long, so try to make sure you don't struggle too much with these two. You guys are fine. I'm pretty sure you guys will be fine. But I really do want you guys to practice. That way, so when we get back to the Zoom class tomorrow, you guys will be ready. Okay? Other than that, remember, any questions, ask me. And the forums is going to be open today already. So do that in your own free time when you can. Other than that, that's it for the class today. All right? We're going to finish right there. So make sure you be ready, turn in the notes, and turn in that with the notes. Okay? Other than that, we're done. Take care and have a great day. And I'll talk to you all tomorrow on Thursday.